Hi, Corey here. I just want to give you a quick introduction video about buyer behavior, or what other people call consumer behavior. And in this video, we'll just touch on a couple things, and in future videos, we'll get much deeper into the topic. The first thing, before we even get started, I just want to kind of give you an example to think about this. Have you ever thought about like coffee? Basically, it's a commodity, but yet there are multiple different ways you can purchase it, and there are differences that we attach to all of them, starting with the very basics of price. So if you think about just the drip coffee that you get at home, and you put it in your thing, you buy your coffee grounds, you put it in the machine at home, put some water in there, in 5 minutes you have a cup of coffee. Okay, pretty simple. Then the next step, you have Keurig. Now you buy it, it comes in a little thing. You don't have to make a full pot, you can make one cup at a time. Of course, the downfall is you have to make a new one every single cup, but it's really easy to use, it's easy to clean up, and you can do one at a time. Perfect for maybe the office or if you live alone. You're not wasting anything. The next one is kind of like the gas station, or to me, a better example is McDonald's. 99 cents, $1.50 for a coffee. You drive through, you walk in, you get it. It's nothing special. There's no great experience to it, but it's cheap, it tastes good, and it's quick and easy to consume and to purchase. The last one, though, is Starbucks. Think about when you go to Starbucks. There's music, there's woodwork, there's lights. There's famous Starbucks in places even like Milan, Malaysia, Tokyo. Basically every city across the world, or many cities across the world now, have Starbucks in them. But now when you think about it, what is the big difference between all of these? Price. The first one I named, the drip coffee at home, is the cheapest. Keurig's a little bit more expensive. And then you think about McDonald's, which I already told you the price there. And then you go up to Starbucks, or any coffee shop for that matter. You're paying for the experience. The coffee itself is probably very similar. Like I said, it's mostly just a commodity. But what changes is the experience, the process, what's happening, how everything going around it. And that's consumer behavior. All of them make money. All of them are successful because they all meet the needs that a certain customer is looking for. And so today's lesson, by the end of the class, you will be able to point out a brand or product's value proposition relative to its competitors. So what is consumer behavior? I'm going to read you this quick definition, then I'll explain it in a little more detail. The study of individuals, groups, or organizations and the processes they use to select, secure, use, and dispose of products, services, experiences, or ideas to satisfy needs, and the impacts that these processes have on the consumer and society. This is from the Consumer Behavior textbook by Pearson Longman. But basically, what does it mean? In simple format, to me, what I think about consumer behavior, I think about the moment that a consumer or organization has sort of the idea, pops in their head, like I need something, like that problem recognition, all the way until they've used it, and now they're going to dispose of it, and then what do they do after that? Everything in between, to me, is consumer behavior. So it's kind of like what we all do every single day. Every single time we buy something, this huge process we go through, sometimes it's really long, sometimes it happens that fast. But anyways, everything in there, that is consumer behavior. So one of the first steps that you want to do in consumer behavior is understand kind of who you are and what's going on around you. So very basic, you think about who the consumers are, who is our customer, who are we, who are our competitors, and then what is the category or the environment that we're in. So when you break down those four basic things, it gives you an idea, kind of a starting point. So once you understand where you are, then we can start to take the next steps. But of those four, one of those we really want to dig into, and that's your consumers. And when I'm talking about your consumers, the first thing we're going to do is try to figure out who's our customer. So a lot of times when you're selling products, you're going to have multiple different people buying your products. These are called segments. So segments is every single person that buys your product, but what you want to do is you want to take all these customers and break them into groups. So what do you mean break them into groups? We break them into groups basically on how do they buy the products? Are they buying it the same? Like-minded people, sometimes we do demographics, sometimes we do geographics, but we want to try to separate them into groups that are similar as possible. Hopefully you can choose things that are not based on things like demographics or even geographics, and you can actually focus on the purchasing process that they go through. So if you have enough research, you start to notice trends or patterns among the different types of consumers that buy your products. But then you can pick the groups or segments and target those specific ones. You want to target ones that match your company the best, that have the most growth in the future, that are easily accessible, and that have enough people in them to be profitable. So you want to make sure you cover those things. So if you think about the coffee that we talked about earlier, those 4 types of coffees and how you can consume them, all 4 of them hit these patterns. They're all potentially growing. They're all large enough. They all meet the needs of specific coffee companies. And that's really important. And then the last one, of course, they all match their company. They represent who they are as a company, and they're a good match. You don't want to reach for something different. Once you've figured out your segment and who you're going to go after, who you're going to target, now you want to think about what's going to be our marketing strategy. How will we provide superior customer value to our target market? How are we going to connect with them so that they look at our products and they say, that's the product that I want. I don't want any other product. I want that one. How are we going to do that? And ultimately, this, what we're going to talk about throughout a multiple videos, is focusing on that target market to get them so that when they look at our products, they love them and they become loyal to them. Once you know who your segment is and you know who you are, we talked about the environment, we talked about your company, we talked about your competitors, you need to come up with a marketing strategy. Remember, a strategy or the marketing strategy is kind of the umbrella of the entire thing. It's the person that drives the bus. So marketing is not the individual aspects of it. Marketing is the entire thing. These include things like product, communication, distribution, price, and service. So what this means is you need all 5 of these aligned with each other. To become successful, you need all 5 of these so they're aligned and they match your customer. They match your target market. If you do all this together and you match all these well, you can become successful. The only way a firm can become successful is if you can come up with a good product that meets the need. Remember, you're always selling a solution to a problem that your customers have. If you can find that need or that want or that fear that they have, and you come up with a solution to that problem that exists, and then you can communicate it to them clearly, you will meet their needs, they will be happy, they will continually buy your product. But hopefully by the end, you should be able to think about like multiple products and what is that one thing that's unique about each one of those and how that one thing connects with its customer base. All right, thank you so much for your time. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll have new videos coming out soon. Bye.